call the meeting order. Everyone please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Village clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Here.
Ford. Myers.
Here.
Costa.
Here.
Here.
Move to item number 2, public comment. All questions and comments may be directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on a topic on the agenda only. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. Had anything, please come to your mind.
Hello, my name is Brandy Hopkins. I would like to know, how am I expected to comment on what's on the agenda when I don't know what you all are getting ready to discuss or anything? Could you sort of, how's that supposed to work?
Are you having any other questions?
Well, I'd like to know how that's supposed to work.
Okay, I'm just asking, you get 3 minutes. Do you have any other questions?
And I may have another one after you comment.
This is not a debate. This is we're allowed to
It's
ask your
not,
questions.
but it should be a discussion.
Give me an opportunity to ask you questions. If you have any questions or comments?
I just made it, that's one.
Okay. All right, I mean, we can wait till your 3 minutes is up because we have 3 minutes, but I'm not going to debate back and forth. Do you have anything else you'd like to ask?
Again, that was my question. Just very focused. That's all. You know, you run things real tight. That's nice, but it's not fair. So, could you just elaborate?
All right. I'll answer the question. What you have is on the regular board meeting nights, residents are allowed to come and ask questions what's on the agenda. This gives the residents the opportunity to bring a comment, to bring a question about something that's being voted on, and to be able to give your, to let the trustees know exactly what you think about what's being voted on. Again, that allows the trustees to hear the residents prior to it being voted on and anything being passed. On committee meeting nights, which is the first and third, questions and comments come from the audience at the end of the meeting. So what you get to do is what's being discussed during committee meeting nights. If you hear anything, you can come up at the end of that committee meeting night, you get to talk, of course, about anything at all, but you can also ask questions about what was discussed during that committee meeting. So it gives the residents 2 chances before anything's voted on to approach the board. At a committee meeting, at the end, and at a regular board meeting at the beginning. So again, to wait until have questions at the end of the meeting on something that's on the agenda, it's already been passed. So it's already previously. So again, the residents get to come up and ask about anything they want on the agenda prior to coming up for a vote. So. All right, so move to next.
I got a letter in the mail on section 82.373. Recreational vehicle or boat.
I have to stop you for a second. Tonight is on agenda items only.
So when do I come complain?
I guess if you want to complain about that, number one, you can talk to us here at the board after the meeting, and we will review your complaint. Or if you want to bring it up in public, it's during the first and third Tuesdays of the month. That's where a resident can talk about anything at all. But on a regular board meeting tonight, it's a voting night, it's a business meeting night, so it's only on agenda items only. But I would encourage you, please stay afterwards and meet with us after this meeting, because I do want to hear your complaint, but I just have to follow the rules.
Next question, I want to ask a question. A lot of gunshots around my house. What are we doing?
Again, it's...
Don't change that. That's people's lives there. There's a difference there, Dave.
Right. No, I understand. And I'm sure that the chief has been working on his report on some things that's happened this last week. So, again, I would encourage you to wait and listen to the chief's report tonight. And if you don't get your answers, number one, make sure the chief knows exactly where you live so that he can make sure that they have the proper patrols and stuff in your area. But Again, it's stuff that the chief and I have been talking about, especially over the last week.
I feel your tap dancing.
All right, any other questions or comments?
I just got out here, not even a year ago, but my question is there a percentage of Section 8 that you all take?
It's not on the agenda. Remember, your questions tonight have to be on the agenda item only.
Okay. Next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes, May 6th, I'm sorry, next Tuesday, is 5th Tuesday.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes, Mayor. I'd like to deviate for just a minute to say thank you, if it's okay. I'd like to thank the people on the board that donated to the Easter egg hunt that the P.L.A.N group, in conjunction with the Parks and Recreation, had this past Saturday. McConaughey Library donated 165 books. We did go back Saturday to get more. We gave just a shade over 200 books out. Each child got one. We had 5,000 eggs and they were gone. I mean, even clean up, we didn't find any eggs. And it was a wonderful event. And the P.L.A.N group appreciated working with the Parks and Recreation and hope to continue next year. The elected officials that donated, we thank you, and any of the individual people that donated, our heartfelt thanks to them also. Secondly, on the agenda items only, this is a difficult thing, and I can understand where some of the people are coming from, because until you walk through the door, you have no idea what's on the agenda. I know there's other avenues, but if you're not, I don't use the computer, I don't get into this stuff. So when I come to a meeting, that's the first time I see this. And to try to read all this and comprehend what's going on and formulate some questions is extremely difficult. So, other than that, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Move to reports of officers. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, please come forward. We're moving right along. Go ahead.
My name is Sheila Lee, and I was here a few weeks ago regarding the illegal towing of my vehicle.
It's not on the agenda,
What's not on the agenda?
what you're about to talk about. So
I
it's
have to
not
talk about something on the agenda.
on the agenda.
Okay, when do I get the free seat?
May 6th.
Huh?
May 6th.
On May the 6th?
Yes. All right. Move to the mayor's report. First of all, I have a proclamation I'd like to read tonight. Earth Day proclamation, whereas Earth Day is Tuesday, April 22nd, 2014, and Arbor Day is Friday, April 25th, 2014. And whereas Earth Day and Arbor Day inspire many organizations to host environmental events to help raise awareness in environmental issues during the month of April. And whereas 44 years ago, an inspiring national movement to protect the environment crystallized. And whereas Earth Day is celebrated in a variety of ways by schools, communities, parks, nature centers, organizations, companies, businesses, municipalities, families, volunteers, youth groups, individuals. And whereas the global community now faces extraordinary challenges such as environmental degradation, climate change, food and water shortages, and global health issues. And whereas all people, regardless of race, gender, income, geography, have a moral right to a healthy, sustainable environment. And whereas a sustainable environment can be achieved on the individual level through education efforts, public policy, and consumer activism campaigns. And whereas it is necessary to broaden the environmental movement to achieve maximum success. And whereas it is extremely important for Stock Village to realize that those who participate in the public and education process direct towards environmental improvements will help determine the quality of the environment for the next generation. And whereas the environmental education encourages knowledge and understanding about the environment and environmental challenges. Whereas environmental education helps youth develop the necessary skills and expertise to address the environmental challenges we face. And whereas the sense of environmental responsibility reached through Environmental Knowledge Acts is a catalyst for future participation in environmental action. Now therefore, I, David A. Hanks, Mayor of Ogleshaw Village, hereby pledge this Earth Day, April 22nd, 2014, to support education initiatives addressing the protection and preservation of the environment and encourage others to undertake similar action. I did bring my drink out, so my mouth is dry. So, a couple of things I just want to bring to your attention is county care. We've got the information on county care. County care is an Illinois medical program for adults that provide the care that you need, everything from doctor's visits, prescriptions, health care, addiction treatment. There's a whole list. Who can apply for it? Number one, you must be between the ages of 19 and 64. You must live in Cook County. Earn no more than $1,300 monthly, $16,000 annually. For one person, it's $1,800 monthly, or $21,700 annually for families of two. And you need to make sure that you are a U.S. citizen or legal immigrant for at least 5 years. You apply today. We'll make sure this gets up in the back, but the phone number is 312-864-8200 for anyone that's interested in that. And then we also have, let's see here. There is a NICOR Construction Engineering Summit for suppliers, and it's open. It's on May 1st, 2014 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that's at the NICOR facility, 90 North Finley Road, and that's in Glen Ellen. They ask you that you pre-register before going, so you have until Thursday to pre-register, but you can go out there on the NICOR site. There's a link to it, so if you're interested in that. With that said, do we have anything about this? Okay. So, go to Village Clerk, Debbie Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There will be no board meeting on Tuesday, April 29th. That's the fifth Tuesday of the month. The village board does not meet on the fifth Tuesday of the month unless a special meeting is called. Village stickers will go on sale May 1st. Passenger stickers remain at $30 and trucks remain at $48. There's one $20 senior discount per household. Your village sticker expires on June 30th. You must purchase and display your new village sticker by June 30th, 2014. The village sticker price will double and you could receive a $100 ticket otherwise. Thanks to all the department heads, committees, and outside sources providing information for the Sauk Village email alerts and website. All information pertaining to the various departments of the village, such as police, fire, public works, finance, and administration, etc., will only be posted on the email alerts and village website per the direction and/or press release received by the head of that department. I encourage all departments and committees to continue to provide information that can be disseminated to our residents in a timely manner. For those in the audience that are not aware of the fact, we do have a new Sauk Village alerts system where we send emails out in a more timely fashion when we receive information from the committees and department heads and other outside sources. I understand the situation as far as agendas, people that don't have the computers. The agendas are posted on the website, they're posted at the library, and they're posted at the village hall. Those are the three places that you can go to find out what will be happening at your village meetings. The first and the third being the committee meetings, where all the discussions are taking place, and the second and the fourth, it's actually the business meeting, where all of the business is actually decided. If anybody has another place that they think that these agendas should be posted, or any other ideas on how we can get the information to the public, I would be more than happy to hear that and follow through on that. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Move to Village Attorney, Attorney McGrath.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
Move to Village engineer, Mr. Zarni.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, Kevin and his crew have done a wonderful job replacing those delineators that got damaged by the snow plows. So we will be contacting the powers that be to come out and do an inspection and get that certified as a quiet zone and stop the train horns from sounding moving forward. So, and then secondly, just an update on the treatment plant improvement project. The variable frequency drives that we talked about at the last meeting, those have been installed. So they've taken some training on those in startup. And once we get that done, get some invoices, get those submitted, should be on our way to getting the grant for $800. And then the contractor has completed the access road that runs from the treatment plant up north to Carlisle, thank you. And they're also starting to do work on the parking lot at treatment plant 2, and then install some water mains and some other utilities there. That concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
The one thing I noticed, I think it was going on Route 30 in Linwood, and they've got their quiet zone, but they've got signs out there that have lights around it. It looks like it's through, it's not the battery operator or whatever.
Solar.
Solar. I'd like to see if we can take a look at what it would cost to put those out there also.
Okay, I will ask.
So I think we got money left over in the quiet zone. It'd be fun.
Got it.
All right. Then see if the county wants to donate them. Come, well, upkeep them, they can donate them. All right, move to reports of trustees and board committees, Parks and Recs Committee Trustee Possible.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to say a big thank you to the P.L.A.N. for a very successful Easter egg hunt that we had. Easter program was a good time, had lots of kids show up. And I want to thank for all the volunteers in the P.L.A.N. and all the volunteers from Parks and Recs that came out to help make that all possible. It was really a good time, it was exciting, the kids really enjoyed it. So thank you all for coming out and doing that. I also would like to remind everybody that May 2nd will be our next family game night over at the community center. We'll have light refreshments, so come on out and bring some games and enjoy yourselves. The basketball program will have its last registration this Saturday from noon to 2. So if you know anybody who's looking to play basketball or cheerleading over the summer, please come on out, register Saturday. Price is $35. It's for about 10 games. We do need more children, so we're looking forward to that. Our Parks and Recs meeting will be May 1st at the Community Center at 6 o'clock. We will be discussing the 4th of July stuff as we start to move forward and get that going. And again, a big thank you to the P.L.A.N. for their wonderful support. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Go to Communication Committee Trustee Morgan.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to touch on a couple things here. May 17th, from 8 to noon, the Beautification Committee will host a cleanup day in Sauk Village. Basically, we're looking for volunteers to come out. We're going to meet behind the village hall here at 8 o'clock, and then basically we're going to go to some of the major signs along the Marquee, 394, Sauk Trail, the Village Hall, the Police Department, Community Center. We're basically going to go to a lot of places and try to, straighten up, clean up as best as we can. So we're always looking for volunteers for that. A little farther into the future, June 14th, we are going to have an annual community yard sale. That is going to be located right across the street from Do It Press, right across along Sauk Trail. Basically, the spots are going to be $15. There'll be 10 by 10 spots. Looking for vendors to come out, set up shop. The hours of that are going to be 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And please come out, residents, and come celebrate your stuff. Also, something else I want to comment on. I mentioned once before, myself and my wife, we've gone out and, picked up trash along Sauk Trail. One thing that I'd like to notice that I drove around Sauk Village and I have been seeing a lot of residents, and I know it's not because of my comments, but I noticed a lot of residents are out there and they are starting to pick up trash. So me personally, I want to thank everybody that owns a home, rents a home, and is taking care of your property, picking up trash, walking down the street. I really, really appreciate it. It's really going to make a big difference. One thing else I want to touch on is, I really hate this, but Chief, if there's any way possible, I know your officers are busier than all get out, but if they see people throwing trash out their car door, please cite them, because it's ridiculous. I've drove around and I see people throwing pop cans and garbage right out their car, and it's just sickening. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. Move to Ordinance Review Committee, trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple items tonight. I plan on the ordinance review meeting this Thursday at 7 p.m. here at Village Hall. And the last thing is, the gentleman that's still here with the voting card, I would like to meet with you after the meeting tonight, if all possible. Thank you. That's all I have, sir.
All right, move to item number D, Intergovernmental Relations Committee, trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This coming Thursday, there's going to be a job fair in Kankakee. It's going to be at the Kankakee Valley Park District Rec Center, 150 North, Indiana. They're going to have 30 to 40 employers there, so you can come with your resume and dress as if you were trying, as if you were going to go for an interview. I do have the other particulars after the meeting. If anyone wants to get with me, and I will inform you and give you a little bit more information. Also, in the Governmental Relations Committee meeting, we'll meet May 1st. That's the first Thursday in May here at 7 o'clock. That's all I have.
Move to item E, Neighborhood Watch Committee, trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I just want to thank Kevin for the beautiful, beautiful neighborhood watch signs that's going up all over the village. I saw the one coming off the expressway and the one by McDonald's, welcome to Sauk Village, and coming off from Route 30 up on Torrance. And the committee that I work with, along with myself and residents that's been seeing the signs going up, I really, really appreciate it. And it's so apropos that you put them up now, because we're in the middle of shooting the video in Sauk Village for Happy. So we've been going around the village all day today, and we've been on location, and we've been videotaping different businesses that display our sign neighborhood watch program. And it's so exciting talking to the business owners and the residents. They've been taking them from the library, from the village hall. I put them out, I go back in 3 or 4 days, they're all gone. So the neighborhood really knows about this program, and they're excited about the video as well. So I just want to thank all of you all for your cooperation. I see I have New Block Club captains here tonight, and another New Block Club captain that's on Carroll that came tonight and met the mayor, and that's one of the elected officials. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you, Captain. I really appreciate it. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee. Move to Public Relations Committee and the Outreach Partnership Committee's Committee Outreach Partnership. Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things. For public relations, we meet on the first Wednesday of the month. That Wednesday falls on May 7th. And I'm sure there's a big celebration that my parents are planning for that day because it's my birthday. So that meeting will be rescheduled. So the Public Relations Committee will not be meeting on May 7th. And we'll be rescheduling it. I will let everybody know when that happens. And then the next meeting for the Community Outreach Partnership Committee will be held on the 13th, which is before the committee meeting, pending an executive session or a special meeting. Before the committee meeting, before the board meeting, I'm sorry, the 13th is the board meeting. So before the board meeting, Community Outreach Partnerships, pending a special meeting or executive session or something else, and I will let the committee know. That's all.
I think we move to reports of departments, committees, and commissions. Fire Department 911 Commission, Chief Crawford.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Over the past 2 weeks, the fire department responded to 19 calls. 1 assist to another agency, 5 fire runs, 5 medical assists, 3 car accidents, vehicle lockout, trash fire, 1 smoke showing, and 1 structure fire. And I think the board advised on our engine that's being
you, Chief. Move to Police Department Chief Levis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. I'd like to first report that between the periods of 4/8 and 4/22, the Police Department responded to a total of 759 calls for service. I won't touch on exactly what all those calls for service are because you're all pretty used to those numbers as they come up. What I would like to discuss is a couple other things. I had a citizen ask me the last meeting about burglaries. I'd like to report that between the dates of 1/13 and 4/22 of 13, there were 78 residential burglaries. For the period of 1/1/14 through 4/22 of 14, there were 45. So that's showing a total of 33 less burglaries for the same period last year. Also, calls for service. I think I had announced this several months ago, but I'm more than glad to repeat myself. Between the same periods of 1/1/13 and 4/22/13, there was a total of 5,327 calls for service. For the same period in 2014, there was 5,744 calls for service, with a 417 calls for service difference. So we have increased our calls for service a little bit in the same period of time. We also had a few people asking in regards to, I know several weeks ago that I announced this. However, obviously everybody doesn't attend the same meeting, so once again, I'll mention the shooting that we had on 4/11 over on Carroll Avenue. There was one person shot. It was a non-life-threatening injury, and it was not a random shooting. There was no danger to the community. There was some concern about the shots fired yesterday around the area of the library. What I can tell you is that it would have had to come from somebody listening to a scanner because there was only one call and there were no shots fired. A few other questions that were asked were in regards to when is the public notified in regards to certain crimes. Well, when there's a serious crime or there's a threat to the community, you'll be notified via the alert system. Other than that, in regards to serious crimes with no threat to the community, we will not be making a regular notification to the citizens. Quite naturally, there's information that we can't release regarding the current investigation. And when there are incidents of that type, the mayor and the trustees are informed all the time. Another note, moving on quickly. The police department has been and is showing more and more every day that we are more capable of handling crimes in the village. The crime has decreased, as I notified folks towards the end of the year, and that's proof positive by the numbers with uniform crime reporting with the state and the federal government. However, we always welcome help from volunteers, not only in the police department, but in the entire village. However, I will not ever place a citizen's life or well-being in jeopardy by putting them in a situation close to a crime scene or deputizing them, as I've heard, or some type of volunteer work at a crime scene. That will never happen. And strictly for the safety of the citizens. And that concludes the report, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Move to item number C for the Clerk's Department, Mr. Wells. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Hang on. Trustee Washington?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I just want to say for the record that I was in the vicinity of the library, and I am not an expert with guns and shooting, but there were other people there that are. And I asked them, what was that we heard? And they say, yes, those are gunshots. Now, I'm not an expert at shooting guns or knowing what gunshots sound like, and you can go on record and twist what I say and misconstrue what I'm saying, but there were people there on the property that do know what gunshots sound like, and in less than 2 minutes, an officer did arrive and began to surveillance the area of the library. I was not the only one there. There were several people in the area of the library, and we did hear them. So I also want to say that I made a comment in the last meeting that we had about deputizing people to assist the police based on questions that were asked to me by residents that are former law enforcement officers. And I did come to the police station and I did express that concern to you out of respect as the chief, because I didn't want the word to get back to you twisted and elaborated on something that I did not say or interpreted in a different way. I have no problem in saying nothing that I need to say or voice it. So I wanted you to understand as the chief from me as the neighborhood watch that we are working, of course, informing the residents how to keep their home safe, cutting on their front and back lights, call the police if you see anything, try to get a description of a person working with the police. But in no way would I either put a civilian in harm's way by asking you to deputize a regular citizen to become the police or go on the crime scene to try to do what the police job is. So we're on the same page with that. I just wanted to note that and have that said at this meeting as well. Working with the Neighborhood Watch, and anyone that talks about the Neighborhood Watch program in any kind of negative light, with the sensitivity of what happened with Trayvon Martin and with the Neighborhood Watch, we're still trying to educate the community that it's okay to be a part of the Neighborhood Watch program. A lot of people in the community all over the world think that Neighborhood Watch programs have been disbanded since that incident with Trayvon Martin. And I assure them that in South Village, as well as other villages and in the city, they still do have a very viable and working Neighborhood Watch program that work along with the Police Alliance and other groups in that organization. Some cities and villages call them guardian angels. They call them all kinds of names. So what I was asking was there some kind of program that residents wanted to know, could they assist to help in any kind of way to just assist the police? But no means that I mean to convey that they were to go and do the job that the police are trained by going through a professional academy to do. And that concludes my comment.
Thank you, Trustee Washington. Trustee Martin?
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, could you give me an update on the crime-free housing? Where are we at with that right now? Do we have an officer assigned to that, and are we moving forward?
We have 2 officers assigned to that. However, in light of some of our constraints within the village, we haven't been sent to training.
So that's the only thing that's
we're currently working on that.
So that's the only thing that's holding up is sending them away to training.
We've had, and maybe you didn't attend the meeting where I had announced quite a long time ago that we've had a voluntary program going prior to the ordinance ever being entered into record. So yes, we do have a program going. Yes, it is voluntary. Yes, we're moving forward, and we're trying to make those restrictions tougher now since we do have the ordinance passed. But we're working our way into it slowly.
Okay, thanks.
Now we'll go to Public Works Department. Mr. Willett.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple items reporting on most of the residential complaints. Sauk Village through the winter, we've had quite a few potholes in the streets. Currently, right now, we're about 3/4 of the town completed patching. Gallagher has opened their hot patch up, but it's through a call-by-call basis. They only give us so much to try to spread the wells. So by the end of the month, we'll be fully in business, so we should be able to patch up anything that starts to come loose in the cold patch that's currently down. But we are currently using hot patch now, so we're on the south side of town. Once the south side is completed, that'll be the main heart of the town. We'll go out to the industrial parks in Deer Creek and the outskirts. Second item, street sweeping. We are a week behind on the street sweeping. We had a little bit of a switch problem, so we are sweeping this week. We ask that everybody please no parking on garbage day. Assist us, please, and also helping pick up garbage, not kicking it back into the roadway and waiting for the sweeper. We appreciate all the help. We do have a lot of residents that have told us they're actually cleaning up their own block, walking up and down the street themselves and picking up papers rather than waiting for their neighbors to do it. Hopefully the neighbors will get the hint and they will help them. So we appreciate that. Branch pickup, our first pickup of the year starts May 5th. All branches have to be out by May 11th. We will be by after May 11th. Anybody who places any branch piles out will have to remove them or have them picked up by another service, or they can be ticketed. Daily operations right now, we're trying to complete some of the tasks throughout the winter, repairs to buildings, some of the damage, some of the maintenance that has been ongoing. We're helping the finance department with some grants we're working on currently right now. And also working on a bunch of the water accounts, including the dig list and the dig and jet list, and any outstanding or no accounts that have water service. Vehicle repairs, ongoing public works. We also have our equipment starting to come out for the summer months here. The grass in the last couple of days seemed to just pop all of a sudden and heat. So we will start cutting grass Friday, and we'll continue on from there. And Jim already reported about the linears, so that is my report.
Thank you, Jim. All right. Kevin, I think I'll make it to this meeting, I hope. Move to Finance Director, Mr. Revo.
Thank you, Mayor and the Board of Trustees. First of all, we have received the IEPA second installment loan in the amount of $268,000 that was deposited in the water service fund already. The first installment came in last month in the amount of $333,000 that was also deposited into the water fund account. Moving forward, the financial reporting for 2011 and 12 are already updated onto the Cook County website as well as the Comptroller's office. The hard copy is going to be mailed tomorrow morning to all the counties as well as the State of Illinois Comptroller's office. The third one is the financial reporting for February and March will be available pretty soon because I'm caught up with most of the current audit work. So the financials will be available pretty soon. The last one is the current audit for 2012 and 13 is going to be completed pretty soon. Probably I'm expecting by the end of May 15th or so it should be completed. And we are, once it is completed, we are pretty much current. Moving forward, the regular annual fiscal audit should be and must be completed within 6 months moving forward. That ends my report.
Thank you. And just so the board knows, as we complete these audits, we're not receiving the audits from the pension boards. So I've directed the attorneys to drop a letter from the mayor's office to inform the pension boards that we will, going forward, hold all funds going to the pension board. We will not be paying, we will hold the money, but we're not going to be paying them the money, and we're directing them to provide their audits, or at least to start getting the audits started immediately. And we will also be sending this information to Cook County Sheriff Dart's office to inform him also that they are not completing their audits. So they should be receiving a letter shortly from the mayor's office that, especially it's more on the police department side. I think the fire department's been fairly well, the fire pension board. But the police pension board has got to start their audits. They've gone for years. This board has reached out to them. Previous boards have reached out to them. They refuse to have their audits performed. And again, and should realize that the pension board is pretty much an island to themselves. So they have their own attorneys, they have their own board, and it's their responsibility to get their own auditors. So it's not the village's responsibility to do the audit for them. It's their responsibility to get the audit done and into this board. So they are, what, 4 years behind them? Approximately 4 years behind on having their audits complete. So now we will take the next steps. I mean, the village, under this administration over the last year, we've completed 3. Fourth one is already started. So now that we're getting our house in order, we expect our pension boards to start getting theirs in order. So, all right. Move to Sauk Village Homeland Security Agency, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The last 2 weeks from April 5th to April 16th, as a responded to 20 calls, which consisted of 3 car accidents, 6 fire alarms, 1 brush fire, 5 school patrols, 1 gas leak, 1 CO alarm, 1 smoke showing, 1 structure fire, and 1 motorcycle accident.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Move to Human Relations Commission, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to report that we are still waiting on a date for the workshop to follow from the diversity dinner, but the Human Relations Commission, we do meet the first Monday of every month at 7 o'clock right here at the Village Hall. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Housing Commission, Commissioner Holcomb.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. The Housing Commission is working with Sherry and Sue to identify properties needing cutting and have also met with Cook County on the vacant building ordinance. And they were provided 50 properties by Sherry that ownership cannot be established, and the county has started the process of these properties. The foreclosure rate in 2012 was 27 homes per month. 2013, this dropped to less than 5 per month, and presently, to date, there has been 9 homes foreclosed this year. The change can be contributed to the Housing Commission working with SSMMA and other agencies working on foreclosure prevention. The price of buying property in the village in 2012 averaged $7,000. In 2013, that changed to $18,000. And as of yesterday, the Illinois Realtor Association listed the average price for a home in Sauk Village at $30,000 and on the state's upward curve. Of the 341 vacant and for sale homes, only 35 are under $20,000. I would like to thank the Housing Commissioners, Sherry, Sue, Kevin, Ed Myers, Debbie, and all the residents have stepped up and assisted us over the last several months as we can only move forward with their support.
Thank you, Commissioner. That's a great report. Go to Senior Committee, Ms. Henderson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm glad Mr. Holcomb is respecting his elder. Some of the Bloom Township many senior programs include basic line dance classes. They have 4-week sessions through July. They continue their chair exercises, free legal assistance, blood pressure screening, art, smart driving courses, health insurance assistance, and low-cost transportation. You need to call Bloom Township Senior Department 754-9400, extension 244 for additional information and our services or any of the flyers we have out in the literature rack. I want to announce that the National Prescription Drug Take Back Day is coming Saturday, April 26th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That will be at the Lansing Police Department, 2710 170th Street, Lansing. This is for you to dispose your unwanted and expired medication properly. That's to save our environment and the kids. The CEDA, Senior Opportunity Program, continues to provide services for any Bloom Township resident, senior 60 and up. They need to call 312-254-6096. Renee Chaffee, she's a senior advocate, for an appointment. The Sauk Village Senior Committee provides free monthly screening for all village resident the first Monday from 1 to 2. Our honor system paperback book exchange continues. Our second Monday movie is co-sponsored with the library and at the library. And on the second and fourth Fridays, we have open senior social activities. The village's 3 senior organizations are looking for members. The Sunday group is a fun club, Monday evening, the Sunshiners. Wednesday evening is Leisure Timers. Other events are Wednesday morning ceramics and the Sunday evening South Village Bluegrass. Of course, we also have the VFW meeting there and the BMW motorcycle group. The next senior committee meeting will be this next Thursday, May 8th at 5 p.m. Thank you. This ends my report.
Thank you. Move to consent agenda. Any trustees have any questions or comments or anything that I can remove from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Will clerk please call roll?
Burgess.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Myers. Poskett.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item number 7, motion to approve accounts payable and disbursements for April the 9th, 2014 through April the 22nd, 2014. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. As for a motion, let me read this first part first. As for a motion to approve the following, subject to the following changes. This is for the Class 8 real estate tax assessment classification. To change the terminology from industrial to retail, to have a address correction made, and to have the applicant amend his application with the correct information. So with that said, with those amendments to this motion, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the resolution approving a Class 8 real estate tax assessment classification for the abandoned property in the village of Sauk Village, Cook and Will counties, Illinois, for Sauk Plaza Shopping Centers. A motion to approve.
So move with the changes.
A motion second. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Question.
Mr. Mayor, I know that we talked about, we said that this was time sensitive. And that being said, is there a way we can have a meeting with Mr. Duckett, with the board, to discuss what we talked about before we go through this? Because I still have a problem with granting this, even though it says it's not going to benefit, he won't benefit, he will benefit from it. So I would like to find out what his intentions are, if he can at least bring him to this board, because he really is getting, because it is a real estate tax incentive.
There's no problem. I'll ask to see if I can get him placed on the agenda during the committee meeting. I'll make a call out and ask him to come out, talk to the board.
Because I would like to do that before we, just my opinion, I would like to do that before we pass this. This is what I'm asking.
All right, we got a second on the floor. Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
No.
Gordon.
Abstain.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item number C, motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement between the Village of Sauk Village and officers of the technical employees with a term of May 1st, 2012 through April 30th, 2016. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. Item number D, motion to approve a resolution authorizing submittal of the existing development plans listed by the Village of Sauk Village. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Yeah, motion and second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carried. Move to item number 8, miscellaneous comments from the mayor and board of trustees. Start with trustee Williams.
Just a couple of things. Number one, I wanted to say that I went to 3 Easter egg hunts this Saturday, and they were all fabulous, and my nephew thoroughly enjoyed all of them, so I just want to thank you to P.L.A.N. and Parks and Recs, and the Church of God, and everything else, and Culver's. Culver's had a really good one too. So it was very good to see the transition from people, they started at behind the Village Hall, went to the church, went to Culver's. We saw the same people everywhere we went, and I was just really glad that so many people were out this weekend. It was a beautiful day for it. I know that there have been Easter egg hunts where it's been cold, and it's been rainy, and Saturday was just a beautiful day for it. So I'm glad to see so many people came out. And secondly, a suggestion. Is it possible that we could maybe get a sign, to place on that wall above where the agendas are that kind of separates our question and answer structure about, first and third meetings would be anything on the agenda. The second and fourth would be something, regarding to what's on the agenda. Because I know that it used to be you could kind of just ask anything and maybe people are used to that. But for some time now, it's been different. And I know that the reason why we changed it was because a lot of residents, some residents who were questioning why it's been changed now, but a lot of residents came up and said, why are you able to vote on things before we can even tell you how we feel about things? And the way that it is now makes sense. If you come to a committee meeting, you're going to hear what we hear. You know that we're going to vote on it the next week, but you have the opportunity to ask us at the end, after we've heard everything, and then you have the opportunity to ask us again before we vote on it. So that's why we kind of roundtabled it, and it made sense. But maybe that might be something that would be helpful to put in the next talk, put it on the e-blast, put it on the website, have it on a sign, because I know that, sometimes we seem to forget that we change things because the residents ask for it, but maybe they just need a little bit of a reminder. And then that way we don't have a situation where when people do stop and they do grab an agenda, they'd be able to read the sign and realize, oh, and it is on the agenda, what you can say and what you can ask. But if the sign is there, it's kind of plainly written, we won't have as many problems, I think. Just a suggestion. That's all I have.
Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just, I want to thank the public works for putting the neighborhood watch signs up. It's really, it's good to come into town and see a sign there. Just to thank you, Kevin. And just watch them. You got me. It's a good video. It's a small one, but it's cute. And then I chose, unfortunately, I couldn't make all three of the Easter egg things, but I did make one of them. It was great to see the kids out there enjoying themselves, but having the Easter eggs, hunting them, buying them. It was good. And that's what it's all about, people. Our youth bus today is going to be our daily tomorrow. So let's give them what we can. That's all I have to do.
Thank you, Trustee Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to touch on some of the bad things that have been happening in the village. I've been getting phone calls from residents that have been talking about it. A lot of folks being cramped up in their homes, and a lot of people are coming out, and there's a lot of issues that are happening. But one thing I want to echo, for me, if you see something, do not get involved. Call the police department. If you see something, you report it. Don't endanger yourself or anybody else. Be very careful out there. There's been a lot of issues that have been going on here, but our police officers, our chief, our sergeants are there to protect you at all costs. That is what they're there for. So if you see anything, call the station, let them handle it. Those are the professionals. They are paid, they're trained, they go through countless hours of training. These people are there to protect us. So call the police department. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Possum.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to back up on Jeff here a little bit, on his beautification on the 17th, I'm working with the Linwood Recycle Program. We're going to have a recycle day here. They're going to bring a dumpster for us. So I just got to get that all signed, paperwork signed. But the plan is to have a recycle bin for electronic stuff here at the Village Hall on the 17th. I'll have more information for you in the flyers, but just to let y'all know that it's going to be coming to go along with beautification. Again, I'd like to say thank you to the plan for all the help, for all the success of the Easter egg program that we're being so praised on, and it really was a good one. So thank you very much.
Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few quick things. First of all, I want to say I really enjoyed Tag Day, helping Parks and Recs out there cold in the morning from 6:30 to 9:30. Then we went back from 3 to 5 on Friday out there collecting for Parks and Recs for the fireworks show. Got to see a lot of people blowing horns, so that was exciting. I hope that money was beneficial in helping toward the fireworks. Also, I wanted to say that I'm very excited that on Friday, my pastor, Pastor Steve Muncie of Family Christian Center, sent a special invitation to elected officials. That was my department at the church, to have them to come and to see Jesus of Nazareth and to be his special guest. And I'm glad that my elected officials, the majority of the board and the mayor went and attended, and their wives, and we just had a wonderful time at Family Christian Center. Pastor Muncie invited us back to his office. We took pictures with him, and the church talked about it Sunday. They were very glad to meet you guys. In fact, we had 21, I invited 21 elected officials from the south side there. They all came, school board members from other municipalities, so it was a great time at Family Christian Center on Friday. I too went to two of the Easter egg hunts. I went to the one that P.L.A.N and Parks and Rec sponsored at the community center. Then I went down to the one with the church. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the church there. And it was jam-packed stacked, and so the residents were out and enjoying being in the village, and that's what it's all about. That was one of the things that the mayor echoed that he wanted to do, was to bring families out and get people more involved in coming out of the house and coming to the parks, and that's what the video is about with the Neighborhood Watch. Getting residents out, getting them smiling, getting them happy about the village and where they live. And I want to say that by Friday we'll be through shooting and taping everyone that we're going to do. We've been to all of the entities in the village. Just have a few more to get by the end of Friday, and then on May the 3rd, we're going to do a big line dance right here in the parking lot at 10 o'clock a.m. That's on a Saturday, May the 3rd, and then we'll be done. And we'll be going into our edit mode. So it's a very exciting time for the Neighborhood Watch. And any of you that have not been in the video, but you want to make a cameo appearance, we've been taking pictures all over with different people. Just hold up the decal. If you want to be in it, you can see me and let me know. And finally, I just want to thank the mayor and the board for coming out. Again, I said it was short notice for Family Christian Center, but Pastor Muncie was very excited to have all of you there. I know some of you couldn't come, and you let me know that you couldn't come, but I thought that was a great representation from Sauk Village. They also had Mr. Griffin to stand at the church, which is about 20,000 strong. I think it was about, I don't know how many thousand were there that night, but they gave Mr. Griffin, who was one of the original Negro League baseball players from Sauk Village, a standing ovation. He had his card, and he gave one to Pastor Muncie, so that was really endearing. And that concludes my report.
Interesting. Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to ask, even though it was passed, the resolution, can we still have an audience with Mr. Duckett? Also, I just want to make a comment. For the second year in a row, the P.L.A.N and Parks and Recs put on a successful Easter egg hunt. It was very well attended. I like the fact that the horses came, and it was a nice day. It was a very nice day, and I just want to say kudos to Parks and Recs and the P.L.A.N group. There was a lot of things that were given out. They had a lot of eggs, and a lot of books, and food, and things like that. So I just want to say I appreciate, and I'm glad to see that it's moving forward. Also, I just want to make a comment, Mr. Mayor and board, and also police department and residents. It is unfortunate that we're having problems as far as, shootings and things like that in our community. But it takes this community to get out and get involved. We can't sit at home and read newspapers, sit at home and say, I didn't hear anything. We all live in this together. And if we don't make sure that we're watching who lives in our home, we keep tabs on the ones that live in our home and find out where they're at. That's where we can start at. Because it is going to get warm. It's getting warm out there. And it just so happens the first warm day we have problems. We got a long way to go. This is just the end of April. We got all the way to the end of August. We have to stay involved. We have to get out and find out what we can do as residents to curtail some of these things that are going on. Believe me, when they see resistance, they'll move on. But if they don't see it, then they'll continue. That's how you can help the police department, is take care of your home. So I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that we had to start at home. Discipline does start at home to help the police department and to help our other neighbors. You can't turn your head. You can't just say, okay, well, I got to go to work. Okay, but you go to work, when you come back home, you want to make sure your house is safe. So you get involved with your neighbors so they can know what's going on. But if you stay locked up in your home and people turn heads, that's how things happen. That's what the criminals really thrive on, hoping that no one does see and hoping that no one does react. Thank you, that's all.
Thank you, Trustee. Just a few things. First of all, I'd also like to, probably some stuff I'm going to talk about here real quick is kind of echoing what we've heard already, but thank you for the plan, thank you for Parks and Recs. It was a great day to see the young people out there with their parents. It was just all you can do is put a smile on your face. So it's very rewarding what these volunteers have done. And as your mayor, I appreciate it, and I thank you very much. Again, I know that whenever you put anything on, it costs money. So what we saw was volunteers come out working, plus they've also put their own money in to make sure that the kids have something to go home with. So again, I say thank you. Next, I'd like to remind the residents, the planning for the 4th of July parade and the planning for the fireworks, we've already heard a little bit talked about, that the planning has already started. If you want to get involved and be part of the planning, you want to be a volunteer, please make sure you see the trustee Hoskin, trustee Morton, or trustee Myers. Again, they did a great job last year with and with all the volunteers. It took a lot of volunteers to get last year in a short period of time to have the great event we had last year. I can only think about now the extra weeks that you have, how much more it's going to be. So I've got my expectations set very high for you three. So if you'd like to get involved, please make sure you see them. And you've already heard we've already started fundraisers for the fireworks. We want to make sure that, again, this year we want to be able to put on fireworks based on all donations. Last year we were able to do it. We want to make sure that we do it again this year to be able to put fireworks on. The last thing I'm just going to talk briefly about is this is not something that we haven't talked about on this board. It's not something we haven't talked about, but it's the crime we want to talk about. What we're starting to see. What we're starting to see is what we've been talking about for probably about the last month and a half. This is one of the main discussions at the mayor's and managers. I know that this is one of the discussions that the chiefs are talking on the whole entire south sides about this last winter was a winter that the youth and, if you want to call it, criminal element were stoved up in their houses because of the cold and because of the snow. You get a couple nice days, they come out. Okay? How do we combat that? We do that by looking to the residents for your help. First thing, and it's already been echoed, call the police. Now, it's kind of alarming when I hear a report that there were shots fired, the police department received one call. Now, it makes me glad to hear that police officers responded, and it makes me glad to hear residents say that they saw the police officers respond. But it's concerning that there only one person called the police. Call the police. That's important. I talked to the trustee over the neighborhood watch, trustee Washington. I told her start getting information to start educating the residents on what we need to do. When you pick up that phone, number one, do you know the phone number to call? Make sure that's in front of the residents. Do you know what to tell the dispatcher when you get on the phone? What's the most important thing to be able to make sure that police officer can get from point A to point B, and what information does the dispatcher need to have first? Where the incident is happening. Again, if you see anything, what are the people wearing? Because remember, while people are walking away, police officers are heading to the scene. Nothing worse to happen, and we've seen it in the past, where a police officer gets where they're going, and the resident come out and say, the person who's going that way just passed them. Well, they didn't know because the person never told the dispatcher on the phone what the individual looked like. So again, we're going to try to make sure we get information out there to educate the residents on what to look for, what to call. Don't get involved. That's what our police department is for. That's why we say number one, call the police. So we will continue to address this issue. This is a topic that the chief and I, we talk about. And again, like we said, he's talking to other chiefs in surrounding areas. I'm talking to other mayors. And what we do is if we hear something that other communities are doing, we'll share it with each other. So that if I got a mayor in another town doing something that's working for him, I'm going to definitely bring that back to our chief and say, have you heard this yet, or is it something that we're doing? He may come back and say, we're already doing it. He may have already heard it. He may say, I haven't heard that. We'll start to implement it. So we will continue to work with the police department, make sure that the resources that they need to address this issue that we're facing. So With that said, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.